Hi, I'm Steve Zyskowski, and I'm the Chief Referral Officer at Caerusnet. Today's interview is really cool because it shows the power of creating opportunities, and it also shows the power of having a growth mindset and being a person who's ready to change on the fly to be a fantastic networker. Today I have with me Christina Kafkakis with Christina Maria Photo. She's a fantastic portrait and newborn photographer. She's been in Caerusnet since 2012, so she's been around for a little while. She's seen it in lots of different formats, shapes, and sizes, but she's also somebody that I went out on a limb to introduce myself to, and I'm going to tell that story in just a fast second. But Christina, welcome to Staying Connected. Glad you're here today.
Thank you, Steve, for having me.
But you are the perfect example to share a story about why it's important for us to be outgoing and creating opportunities. So in the spring of 2012, I was filling my car up with gas, and on the other side of the pump, a minivan pulls up, and it had a logo on it, and it said photography. And me being somebody who always has his antenna up, was always thinking about my business groups, when I saw that, I said, a photographer? We've been looking for a photographer to pass our referrals to. So I kind of poked my head around the pump and said, hi, see, you're a photographer? And, Christina's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, hey, I don't know if you're interested in this, but I run business group meetings in the Brighton area. I've got a great business group, and we've been looking for a photographer to pass all of our business referrals to. Are you interested in this sort of thing? And that was how the conversation began. And here we are now, almost 10 years later, just by me making that little conversation happen with a stranger, it created a new member, Christina Kafkakis, who's joined in Brighton. So maybe, Christina, you could let me know how that was a magical kind of experience for you, because you were a business owner just getting ready to get out there and start networking, and let us know how Caerusnet's worked out for you since that's happened.
It was fantastic. I had just started my business and I knew I wanted to grow my business. I had done the corporate thing and was growing my family, and I knew that I wanted to have a flexible schedule. And so having my own business would afford me that. And I had looked to see if there were any business teams or groups that I could do in order to grow my business. And everything that I had stumbled upon seemed to be held at various hours of the morning that didn't work for me, or didn't really have a flexible schedule. And so when you gave me your business card that day and I went to the website and I talked with you and I emailed with you, I realized that Caerusnet had different opportunities for me, various times for meetings. And so right away, I knew from the start that this could be the start of a great relationship. So
yeah, which it has been. It has been a great relationship, so much so, a lot of times when people think about inviting somebody to a business group, they're like, yeah, I've gone through my contacts. I've gone through the people that I thought would be the ones that might be interested, and they weren't. So I guess I can't invite somebody to the group. I guess I can't make a difference. Bull. As long as you take a little risk, as long as you don't mind to say, hey, I notice you're in heating and cooling or photographer. Tell me more about that. You can just create a conversation, and somehow the way that the world works, right, the magic of karma, you could be going to somebody who's already on that path to be thinking about networking, which is what happened for us.
Right. And something that I have always paid attention to is logos and business designs on shirts and things like that. And people say, well, you're so good at networking or referring. How do you do it? And honestly, it's just, I think it's part of what I do. My job as a photographer is to pay attention to the details. And so I'll notice things if someone's grabbing a coffee at the local coffee shop and they might have their business logo on a cup or something like that, or if somebody's working there while I'm having coffee, I might notice that and give them my card and mention to them what I do, or maybe if they're looking to grow their business. So for me, it's just been a matter of continuing that karma and continuing that good fortune, because you never know if I'm going to run into somebody who is also at that next step, right?
Yeah, and so I think that's fantastic. And I think that, a lot of people do think that way, but some people are just a little afraid because they don't know what to say. They don't know if they've got the perfect lines to
Sure.
get somebody interested. But the reality is sometimes the less we say is better. What's really
True.
important is getting the other person to talk and tell us about themselves, right? Because
Right.
a lot of people want to talk about themselves, and we give them an opportunity to do that. So here's what I think has been beautiful. You did the photography for my wedding, you've done my family photography. So you and I have also become friends, and you've also documented really important parts of my life just because I took a risk that day and said hello to you. But even on top of that, you've also been an MVP Caerusnet member as well too. You've received an award from your team for being one of the better networkers and somebody who really cares about people. So,
Well, thanks.
wow.
It's been fun. And I think that it just comes naturally for me because I'm somebody who's a loyal friend. And I just kind of think about the team as an extension of my business plan and my marketing. I don't necessarily think about it like, what am I getting in return or what's in it for me? It's more of what can I be doing to help other people? And then they'll in turn think of me because they'll remember that I thought of them when somebody was looking for a realtor, or maybe somebody needed to have some work done on their home, or, there's a variety of things that happen, especially with my business and encountering so many people documenting certain milestones in their lives. A lot of times that coincides with people in the group. So
Yeah, that's great. So you're able to find different parts of your business, which can be referral generators for other people as well too. And because you give, just knowing that it is the right thing to do, you don't give with reserve. You don't give with your hand out at the same time and go, where's mine? You just let it happen and you trust it's going to happen for you. And because that's the truth, it happens for you.
that's right.
So I just think that's wonderful. So here's another tidbit. This is going to be really, I think, important for people that have made that transition from being an in-person group to doing our meetings online, right? Because after doing it for about 5 months last year online, I said to myself, I don't know how long the pandemic's going to last. I'm tired of having host facilities tell me I can rent there, but then not rent there, have meeting location issues. Now that I own my own Zoom account, I own the location. I can do it anywhere and I'm in total control. But, I did lose some people when I started this because they just didn't have that growth mindset to build relationships this way. Magically, you did. Not only so much so, but you also have referred like 3 new people to me this year that, all joined. And, they're doing it in the online environment. They never even experienced the in-person thing.
Right.
So what advice might you have for anybody who's still kind of holding on to the old way a little bit about just taking that step and that leap of faith and making this work for them?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, for me, it has been a great transition because it allows me to be at meetings where maybe I wouldn't have been able to attend in the past. And that was something that I embraced. I know that for me, if school was closed or if my children were ill or if there was a day off of school, it might affect my ability to attend my meeting. And now they know the door is closed and mom's in her meeting and they know it's the Caerusnet meeting, and usually they'll appease me. But I also think that in this day and age, you have to embrace technology. And a lot of people have varying schedules, and Zoom allows them to be able to do it from a coffee shop, do it from their home. I could do it from my studio if I have a session. So for me, I looked at it as something that added to it. And then if I do miss that in-person interaction that I had at previous meetings, then I'll schedule trust builders with people, or I'll schedule, kind of mini get-togethers with people and just say, reach out to various people on the team and say, hey, does anybody want to get a coffee or breakfast or something like that? And then we're able to keep that in-person connection going.
That's right. And also you were at the member breakfast earlier this year. I try to do bigger events to get people together as well too, to embrace your own team, but then spread your wings and meet people from other teams too. And I love that story that you shared at the member breakfast as well too. So great spending time with you today. I really appreciate us being able to share our story and encourage people that you can make things happen with the right attitude. Really, the attitude, there's this phrase everybody's heard probably, your attitude does determine your latitude, how high you're going to go, or if you're going to stay the same or maybe even shrink. So having that growth mindset and just putting your best self forward is always going to be the key to success. And Christina, I am so glad I took that risk that day.
I am so happy in more ways than you know.
All right. Well, listen, I really appreciate you and all you do in Caerusnet. And like I said, it's just been a match in heaven for us to be able to connect that way. And I encourage all Caerusnet members, be conversation starters, be somebody, you have something to offer people. You have a gift to give people. And a lot of times it's the relationships that is that gift.
All the places